I honestly think I have a problem. Really, honestly speaking, I have refreshed CoinMarketCap, Live Coin Watch, and my ledger at least 100 times in the last 50 minutes. So, yeah, I might have a problem. But today I don't want to talk about my addiction to refreshing the money counter, but I want to talk more about some crypto news and some cool stuff to think about. But also, we are giving away 100 XRP. And all you have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. But also, guys, as I've said a couple of times before already, make sure you check out the Growth Masters Academy link down below. Having said that, let's take a good look at Bitcoin dominance, which is something I've talked about before, yet it is very, very important to understand this to kind of get a grasp of where we are in our run and when the big Bitcoin run is going to switch over into alt season. So there are three columns, as you can see, or three columns. Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin, and altcoins. And it says a couple of things right here and a couple more things, but what does it all mean and what does it tell us? Well, you can read down below here the whole explanation, or you can just take a little bit of a look and logically kind of think about what it all means. It says if Bitcoin dominance increases and also Bitcoin increases, then altcoins decrease. What does this really mean and what does it stand for? Well, if the Bitcoin dominance, so the percentage Bitcoin in the complete crypto market goes up, while the Bitcoin price also goes up, it means that, relatively speaking, the altcoin percentage goes down, and so altcoin prices must be going down. And the same thing kind of goes here. If Bitcoin dominance goes up, but Bitcoin price decreases, that means that in this whole dominance, I guess, it's going up while Bitcoin prices decrease. That's kind of strange, right? It means that Bitcoin is decreasing, but altcoins are decreasing even faster, which means they're selling off quite harshly and you should be careful and stuff like that. Bitcoin dominance increases and Bitcoin is stable, then alts might be stable as well. Bitcoin dominance decreases, that's where it kind of gets interesting. That's what we're going to have to watch out for and really, I guess, wait for, because then Bitcoin can increase, but alts will increase even faster, which is when we're going to see altcoin season. And funny enough, the last time we really saw this here was from May all the way up to about September. But right now, Bitcoin has been hiking up. And as you can see here, from about February 2017, the Bitcoin dominance fell from about 80% to about 37 or so, which is rather interesting if you ask me. Let's actually put in a couple more here to get even a broader picture going of all these other altcoins, which you guys might like to see. Somebody is really stupid for making this line almost impossible to see the difference in. Can I just not add this, or is it already in now and I can't see? I think it's already in, right? Okay, it's a very stupid color. But yeah, you can see here relatively how big it, by the way, is. And there's only one coin that ever almost took over, which was Ethereum here in June of 2017. Pretty strange if you start to think about it, how close they were in terms of market cap. For the rest, I guess nowhere really, except for this little point where others, which is all other crypto, was relatively high. But yeah, the point is, though, the thing we're going to have to watch out for really, really carefully is when Bitcoin dominance goes down while Bitcoin price is still increasing, which is not now just quite yet, showing to me that altcoin season might not be here. On the contrary, it could also be that this will happen and you've only noticed it a little bit too late. So, things have already hit the fan and then the number starts to go down, down, down. And you're already kind of, I guess, further than the move, if you guys get what I'm trying to say here. Because if you really check well, this little moment is when Bitcoin started hiking up. The week of December 11th, which we've talked about very often, right? But as you can see, it's just a very, very sharp decline. Very, very sharp, very heavy. And right here, between these two, XRP hits its all-time high. So from that perspective, again, it might just change like the winds. It might change really, really quickly. And again, watch out for that. That's just some side info, though. How to play 2021 correctly, or actually the recovery correctly, according to investing experts. I found this very interesting, right? Because, well, whenever I'm thinking about the recovery and whenever I'm thinking about the change in pace, all that stops me every time is seeing how this space is being manipulated and vaccine. Those two things keep lurking in my head because if we look at the macroeconomical factors, things should be going down, but they don't, right? And knowing that, and knowing the stimulus is coming up, things should be going bad in the markets, but they don't. Okay, and knowing that, I'm thinking there's two kind of options to quickly go for, and the best one might be to work all the way around the vaccine since, honestly speaking, guys, we can't really deal with just one company doing it. And by the way, you may ask yourself, are you going to do it or not? Are you going to take it? That's another question that's not for today. But for, I guess, the general public, it's never really smart to only have one provider for such a thing, right? And this whole article talks about that. Again, articles I'm showcasing here, you can read all the way for yourself or just get the general gist of. I don't recommend purchasing articles, though, or purchasing a subscription. I don't think that is worth it, but okay. U.S. companies in China are more optimistic about business under Biden presidency. And there comes my question for today. Do you think that, do you think Biden has officially won and is it over with? Or are you debating on that fact? What is your thought about that one? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't go too heavy and political because I don't know how YouTube likes that, but go a little bit. Just say, yeah, I think he has, or no, he hasn't. Trump all the way. Let me know in the comment section down below. But it's funny to see how the bonds between U.S. and China, the relationship is now working. A lot of people have said if Trump stays, it's going to get worse and worse, but some have said if Biden comes up, it's not going to really get better at all. However, what I've noticed here in the last couple of weeks, I guess the last week alone, there's a lot of guys who claim that Biden, will make a very big difference in the positive sense from China, but it's now up to the users and us, I guess, to say whether or not that is good. Because, I mean, Trump did it for a reason, right? And there's multiple scenarios and theories going out right now about the world reserve currency and how that's switching up and how China may play a role in that. And I think a lot of people don't want the yuan as the number one currency out there either. But some have been saying that this has all been planned all along and U.S. and China want to have some sort of bond under him and stuff like that. I don't concern myself too much with it, but I want to make you guys aware that that's going on and a lot of people are talking about it. Because I read so much, guys. Every single day I've been here. At least 8 hours I'm reading, so you guys understand that I do get my good stuff here and there. The cashless economy, how fintech is approaching the future of finance. I, again, once more think you don't need to read this whole article, but I do find it interesting how cashlessness and the CBDC necessity and all things like that, and maybe just the upcoming of fintechs, are all kind of on the same line. And even though for a lot of fintechs, the pandemic was a very bad situation, in the end, I think that is short term. And longer term, I think the digitalization that it brought with it is actually going to be very, very helpful to all of them. If you haven't seen it before, there are some theories going around, and I know I'm quoting so many different theories now, but it's for the bigger purpose. There are so many theories going around that say that this is all planned for digitization or digitalization, I don't know whatever the name is officially, or just getting people away from cash, having everything under control, having all payments digital and stuff like that. And for a lot of the fintechs, it was like, whoa, or we can either not innovate right now because there's changes going on and we don't really know where we're at and things akin to that. However, if you start to check it further, if things become digital, these financial technology companies, and I guess as a good example, Ripple, they actually have themselves a very, very good spot as people will get used more to getting things online and getting, or doing everything only with digital payments. And for CBDCs, that's really the same thing. It could, to a certain degree, really be fortunate for them that the whole pandemic came around, as people will now be more open to the idea of using central bank digital currencies than before. I think before, let's say, for example, 80% would have been opposed to it. And now, for example, let's say 60, just a rather drastic percentage shift, if you ask me, because of what we've seen in the pandemic, where a lot of people had to get rid of cash, guys. A lot of people got rid of it now. And that will only get worse, though. And I think, again, that's what the aftermath is of it all. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon still on the sidelines watching Bitcoin millionaires stack up. Not my cup of tea. Jamie Dimon is absolutely terrified of Bitcoin, and it shows. We have the JP Morgan coin, which is a dollar-backed blockchain. You can move the money, split it into pieces. We believe in crypto, properly regulated and properly backed. Bitcoin is different, and that's not my cup of tea. So they believe in a private blockchain, which is very different from public blockchains like the XRP ledger and Bitcoin and stuff like that. It's a completely different piece of equipment, or a completely different sauce and whole world, I should say. So yeah, I guess we can just kind of disregard him as a Bitcoin loyalist or fan. But he's also switching with the freaking tides, man. I mean, wherever the river flows is where Jamie Dimon is, it kind of feels like. On the one hand, they're always very positive about crypto. On the other hand, they're not. And now he's got another statement out saying, we only love private, that is our own, that's properly regulated. But, I mean, properly backed, properly regulated, when is that really the case? And it's just a matter of perception, right? I mean, how important is it? I mean, dollar backed is nothing but trust in the government backed, right? So is it properly backed? Some might also say it's only backed if it's backed by gold and stuff like that. So we can kind of have this discussion going on forever. And I mean, he's just not for it. Okay, but who really cares about that? Eventually, all banks will join into the distributed ledger technology. If he doesn't like Bitcoin, okay, fine. We don't have to worry about that at all. Traders forecast Bitcoin will see a cooldown period as rally overheats. This is still one of the most profound theories I've seen right now. I've been seeing it come over and over and over again, guys. That's literally pretty damn crazy. But it's been talking about here that we've just gone up too much, too long, and we have to switch over. Yet the thing is, we can cover this almost every single day that prices go up, as it's literally what people do, all right? People always come with these negative thoughts. The thing is, though, we have never seen a rally like this before, which is, it's different from the 2017 rally. So who can really tell when we need to cool down? Who can really tell where we've gone too high or where we've gone high enough? And who can really tell if this was the end of the bull run? I personally don't think we're there quite yet. I think this move is going to be bigger than the 2017 move. But that's once more having a discussion with a freaking brick wall, because there will always be somebody who says, yeah, we're going to fall from this point on forward. And I just think I don't have to regard it, but maybe you do. Maybe you think you should. Well, everybody their own thing, right? I respect it, but I just ignore it, so to speak. All right, Bitcoin will replace gold, says world's largest asset firm BlackRock. The managing director and chief investment officer of the world's largest asset management company, BlackRock Inc., said that Bitcoin is better than gold. Very, very interesting if you ask me. Rick Reeder, managing director and CIO of global fixed income at BlackRock Inc., hints at bullishness and long-term sustainability of crypto assets. Reeder has sought to bet on emerging market and pegs crypto asset as a way to balance financial portfolios. I still think about that one as well, right? Think about it, all right? What is the best way to hedge now against just a fully S&P portfolio, for example? Well, gold is what most people are going to say. But what if you don't want to go for gold? What if you don't like the distribution in the world, or you don't want anything that's so, I guess, I don't know how to say it. You just don't want gold. Let's say you want the next best thing, or thing that's not gold, just literally. You want another option, a replaceable thing. I don't know what else word I can use for it. Yeah, Bitcoin is really still my number one to go for. What can hedge against inflation and what you can properly just hold, right? What's smart to hold? I just keep thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, it really has to be Bitcoin. I like gold. Don't get me wrong, I like gold, but I like Bitcoin better. I've said it multiple times before. I think it is very profitable to hold Bitcoin over a longer term, as if we really talk store of value, we're talking a stable coin, right? That always stays the same because it will keep its value exactly the same thing. If we're talking a good store of value that's, I guess, a hedge against inflation, or something that is, I guess, not a fiat currency store of value, so against the traditional currencies as stores of value and as currencies, you could go for gold. But what if you, again, don't really want to go for something that has a lower probability of going up and still has a lot of caveats and flaws to it? You're going to go to Bitcoin because the longevity with that one might be equally as long as that of gold. We don't really know exactly how long they'll both last. I would say scarcity is better for Bitcoin, making it a better store of value. Transportation and stuff like that is a lot better with Bitcoin. It's really more usable. And also the fact that it's more speculational than gold, in the sense that it can get way higher. It's way smaller as of this point as well. And really, there's a lot of good points to vouch for Bitcoin. Now, not everybody is of the same opinion. Billionaire SoftBank founder reveals why he got out of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's volatility was way too distracting for SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son. A $160 million loss. SoftBank has a $80 billion cash pile, which is rather interesting. I think digital currency will be useful, but I don't know what digital currency, what structure, and so on. Japan's second richest man thinks crypto will be useful, but he candidly admits that he still doesn't want to get what it's all about after losing a fortune with it in early 2018, which is rather funny if you start to think about the bigger picture here. But in late 2017, his net worth was $31.9 billion, paid heed to the advice of a friend who recommended the billionaire to invest 1% of his net worth into Bitcoin. He then later on sold at about $6,000, 70% down. He lost $170 billion or $130 billion in April 2019, and he's not happy about it. But what's the bigger picture here? Well, it's to frickin' hold. What else can I say, right? And how to hold? I think a lot of guys have expressed better in the sense that you should always know the bigger picture and think about stuff that you're doing. But if you only have 1% of your portfolio in crypto, it shouldn't really be a problem to just hold on to it and just keep it going, right? I mean, if it really goes to zero, I think you should just go with the wave as it's worth the risk, in my opinion, with 1%. But, all right. Then the last thing, since XRP testing resistance, how a final continuation emerges. I just found it interesting to see the pattern that he predicted here, knowing that XRP has actually gone up over the last couple of days here, even though he predicted we'd fall from this level to rebound, I guess, from within the 25 to 27 cent zone. And we're actually all the way up here already, quite a lot further than his second point of switch. How would you say that? Changing point or whatever. It's pretty funny to see that sometimes where he predicted this would happen all the way when? Let's see here. You can't really see it officially. If I refresh, can I see the date? Let's quickly check if we then can. He expected this price to come January or further. Maybe even here. January 25th or so of 2021 is when he predicted this. And we've already hit it within November still, even though he predicted things to go down. That's once more enough proof for me that these guys can all claim what they want. They all have theories, but still in the end, nobody really knows what's going to happen, right? Nobody really knows if these trend lines are going to be working out. Nobody really knows if their whole theory makes sense. And that's why I'm telling you guys, if somebody's telling you to sell or telling you to buy, always think twice, because they, as well as you are guessing about the situation. If you check out the ideas tab here, most people are buying. Most people are long on it, but there will be a couple of people who are short, and this will change every single day. Why? Well, if prices go up for a longer amount of time, it is nothing but crazy, or no, nothing but normal, that people say, yeah, we're going to switch over from here. And if prices go up, it's not crazy to say that, or not crazy to see that people think the prices are going to continue on forward. Why? Well, you're first of all never going to trade against the Fed, but you should also always trade with the trend. So if the prices go up, you also must long, theoretically speaking. And if prices go down, you also must short. Now, a lot of these guys want to take some crazy percentage profits like you're seeing here with some heavier shorts, timing the top. But that's the more difficult part of it, These other guys are, I guess, way more in luck with their predictions, since they're either predicting a very small downfall with a bigger upside or just a general upside, which is a lot easier to predict when prices are already going up, since that's the trend that's going on right now. Predicting a downfall is much more done, since, well, it gets you a lot more prestige and it can make you a lot more money, but it's not as likely to occur. And here's Kevin Cage, by the way. Is this the official guy or is it somebody else? I don't know if this is his official Twitter, but that's pretty funny to see he's also on here. It's the first time I've ever seen that. I think he is just trying his stuff out for the last couple of days then. Yeah, I mean, I don't really credit a lot of these TradingView analysts too often, because as you can see by just taking a good look, everybody has their own thoughts about the situation, and most of them will be wrong. About 95% of them will be wrong with what's going to happen. So why waste your time, right? Do your own due diligence with your own thoughts and go for that. Find a strategy that works. A lot of these guys will make it work, but not a huge amount of the time. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the situation. You can also just quickly check. More people are buying right now than selling, or at least they're telling you guys to buy. But in the end, that doesn't really tell anything because, well, a lot of these guys are wrong anyway. So yeah. that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I'll tell you guys all about more of this stuff tomorrow. So stay subscribed. See you guys again in another one.